is a balmy spring day here in early May in Clifton Hill, and we're back for a spring tour. Now, what we have is a pretty epic visit over 2 days in Niagara this weekend. So this vlog is really just sort of going to pool together everything that doesn't get covered in those other vlogs, as we do probably in the range of 15 attractions over 2 days, which is going to be a lot. But there's a lot that I haven't covered back in the day with Clifton Hill, and maybe a couple of cool shots along the way, as you guys seem to appreciate that. So here we go, spring 2023 here at Clifton Hill on First Drop. Welcome back. This is where the former Guinness World Records Museum used to exist, but unfortunately it's not there anymore. Originally, on top of this construction for the Niagara Brewing Company, there was a drop tower, a space shot that no longer exists. So it'll be interesting to see what actually comes into this space in the future, because it certainly is going on, but what is actually happening, who knows. Center also features a fairly substantial souvenir outlet, considering that there is another store that's temporarily closed called General Store upstairs. I'm not really about any of this merch, however. It's pretty standard Canadiana souvenir merch, but it is a nice store, I'll give it that. Redesigned and freshened up, as per as well this really brilliant themed lighting fixture as well. We do have washroom facilities here as well. It is very airy and light, which is actually very nice considering what's below. There are so many things I'm learning about the history of Niagara Falls. I feel like I'm going to spend several weeks coming back here and discovering new and more things. I thought I had this town covered a long time ago. It turns out I really don't, as there's so much history to it, including this area, which is Queen Street, the original downtown, and still the downtown proper of Niagara Falls. It's the municipal center, of which City Hall is right behind me here. When the power generation stations were set up originally in this town, a lot of industry came here in order to take advantage of that early on. Unfortunately, during the 60s, 70s, and 80s, a lot of those industries left this town and moved to foreign countries and other locations where they could actually take up more land and buy more land. Because this being a tourist town, land became not so cheap anymore, say if you wanted to bring a new business here. So a lot left, and unfortunately because of that, this once booming town, completely unrelated to its tourist attraction, was left in a different situation entirely and had to focus on tourism as its main part of its industry. Of course, if you are not taking a WeGo, you can also take Niagara Falls Transit, which services the greater part of the Niagara region, as this is a town of 100,000 people. Thus, it requires a transit system that can manage that, so it runs completely separate to, say, WeGo, which is much more easier to understand from a tourism standpoint, and consequently for me to understand as well. People are looking for businesses to come, or young entrepreneurs to come to Niagara Falls and reestablish this downtown, which, to be honest, if you are interested in a pet project and are intrepid enough to try out a new area of town, which I think there is a future for this area. It definitely has its issues in, say, this region. A boarded up glass door is really indicative of that. The Queen Bean Cafe is a place that we are planning to visit, so hopefully it still is open, but it being closer to 6 o'clock, it makes sense that it's not. As you can see, downtown Niagara, as I said, it is a Friday, 5:30, and most of these businesses are either not open or have not been open for some time. This is Goldie's Museum, which is a cafe bar. I am fascinated by this place because the decor inside is quite curious to me. It's one of the newer businesses that's open here that's trying to reestablish a nightlife and tourism scene and just a local economy in the downtown core. Come in for drinks and snacks. It feels very, Niagara wine tour friendly to me. That's Goldie's Museum, unfortunately not open right now. Much like Ripley's downtown, this is a selfie museum, which offers drinks as well as part of the experience. Nothing is really open other than a couple of the bars that we're actually going to hit on the way back here for the Bar Bible vlog. And it is not a holiday today. Which makes sense that the businesses are only open till 5 p.m., which that is exactly as it says. So, in order to get an idea, breakoutescapes.ca, there is a lot of escape rooms down here. And this is a gaming cafe, and then you also have a battle axe throwing league located in this location too. So you get what I mean about like young entrepreneurs coming down here and trying out new business ideas. This is a very unique space that makes me drool with like its circular staircase, if you can see inside, and custom elk on the roof. Custom elk. Now, this building looks very unique, but it's it also doesn't look like it's going to be around for much longer structurally. This is an old RBC bank that's just now, even the signage is just, it's almost like walking through a museum in this area here. A somewhat depressing museum, but a museum nonetheless. It still has some nostalgia for those of us that grew up in this region, or this part of the world at least. We'll say their post office is massive as this goes all the way back. It's huge. Nice classic building, very typical of the post office buildings of Ontario. The CIBC is, however, still open. You'll see what I mean about adventure rooms and other attractions in this area that I have to check out. I even just like, it's very unique. It feels like you're almost in like a carnival in a way with this sign. You see like the detailing on it. It's just crazy. It's just a denture clinic, yet it is the best sign I've ever seen for a denture clinic, without question. So we have, yes, another escape room on this side of the street. So not only is Niagara Falls the haunt capital of the world, but it apparently is the escape room capital of the world as well. We have some interesting businesses here on this side too, including AJ's Music, which I am going to resist temptation to go in because I'll probably come out with something that I can't carry with me right now for the purposes of this vlog. You also on this side have Havana cocktail and restaurant establishment, which is very bright, and the staff are having a very intense conversation in front of her at the moment. And then of course Queen Street goes on for a bit down this way. We'll probably go to Havana just to make them feel a little bit more at ease with the fact that I just accidentally caught them in that shot. And then the White Whale, which is a retro shop, and if you see, it's all sorts of oddities and curiosities. And again, should have came earlier, because that is a store that I definitely need to go and check out. We have a witchcraft supply store as well. And the Grand Central Bar and Grill goes on. There's a lot of unique businesses down here. Look at this crepe place, which looks gorgeous inside. We have a barbershop that's open at last. Yes, the Leafs are playing tonight. Trying to stave off elimination. The Seneca Theater on Queen. And as you can see, it still has a popcorn machine in there. And I'm not sure what reality is anymore. It doesn't look like it's open. Reality is only open from 5 to 10 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which makes me very curious what it is that they do in reality. No pun intended. I'm good at them though. This convenience store is for lease. We're on the final stretch before I grab a couple of drinks on the way back to my bus. We have Antidote Apothecary. Another very interesting record shop that I'd love to go into too. Oh, this looks amazing. Daredevil Alley. Jay Cochran. The original Daredevil, so it's actually a commemorative alley. Okay, we've reached the end of the main area of Queen Street here. There is a church down at the end of the street, of course, but yeah, we finished the tour on foot here. There is a bar on the other side, which is definitely biker friendly, as you can tell by the gentleman in his hog as he rolls out. Clearly off the beaten path here and not in Clifton Hill territory, as we are exploring the Parkway itself and two original bridges. In fact, one old railroad bridge that serviced Niagara Falls that no longer is in use, and an adjoining new one on this side. This is where all the freight traffic for trains and such crosses into the States. And you can also drive across, but I believe it's just for government employees, maybe Nexus as well. But either way, there's never a wait to cross this side, this particular gate. This is the Canada Border Services Service Agency mini mezzanine patio. I'm located right next to the bridge. This is the Queenston Bridge, the one that's currently in use. It used to have a pedestrian crossing, which no longer is in use, as you can see the barbed wire. This temple building actually houses a giant Buddha that you once were able to climb on at night if you were a kid and up to badness. So yeah, fortunately I got to do that way back in the day. is Victoria Street, a major road that intersects with Clifton Hill at the top before it technically turns into Ferry Road. An area that I've never covered before in a vlog, so I'm just gonna take us on a little trip as I go to my next destination for another vlog. As you can see, the Niagara Speedway is on our left side. I have come down here from the opposite direction once before in the daytime for a different vlog. But I just want to give you an idea. There's a lot of chain restaurants on this side of Victoria Street, intermixed with a lot of non-chain places and souvenir shops. There used to be even more scare attractions actually along the strip that are long since closed. We have these standalone. I know that building costs almost $2 million, and it is just a tiny little breeze block building. You definitely get more of a local Niagara feel in these particular restaurants. Of course, you have a lot of souvenir shops as well. A lot of kebab places. And then, you know, some more budget hotels on this side as well. Some more souvenir shops. In fact, many, many, many souvenir shops. And then, of course, Popeyes. And in case you were curious, yes, Niagara Falls does have a Denny's. And this is a Denny's that's convinced me never to go back to Denny's ever again. This is a relatively major intersection. For those of you that drive here, you will probably encounter it at some point, which is Stanley Avenue and Ferry Street. Ferry Street is where Victoria actually merges after the bend. And then once you pass Stanley, this street, known as Ferry, then becomes the famous Lundy's Lane. The most famous and storied street in all of Niagara. Now, it's not really for this vlog, but since I'm first encountering it here, this massive pit is presumably, if all things get approved, for an 88-story condo. That is planned for this intersection. Is a massive plot of land. If this thing gets built, it will be easily one of the biggest properties in Niagara. It will definitely be the tallest building in Niagara. It will also be one of the tallest in all of Canada. Mama's Inn. I've never heard of Mama's Inn before. I love Mama's Pizza. I should probably stay there at some point. We are on our way to Main Street, which is the next intersection that we'll meet on this walk. That is really only recommended for the fearless and locals. Or if you've watched this vlog, it's not actually that dangerous here. It's as dangerous as anywhere, I would say, that I've been on my travels. In fact, the Niagara Falls people are not generally an aggressive type. They tend to be just sort of like, they're into their own thing. I find it's a common thing with tourist towns is that when people come here all excited and full of joy in their eyes, and they're in the business of maintaining that joy, which means there generally is not much joy to be had in their expressions. I have had a couple of good service experiences in Niagara, but the poor ones have outweighed the good ones by an insurmountable amount. So it's it is what it is. Like I said, I work in the industry. I do have maybe higher expectations than most, but a simple thank you sometimes would be nice. But we're going now, a separate vlog, to a bar that I hear has a very good reputation for hospitality. So definitely check out the bar vlog when that goes up to see where this adventure takes me in my search for great service in Niagara. A rather stunning atmosphere that can be enjoyed on this path this evening. We're going to take one final walk through the mist. It's exactly midnight. Things are still bustling here at Clifton Hill. If you want to see what it's about on that sky wheel, be sure to check out my sky wheel vlog, which I did earlier today. Crazy to think that at the start of this trip, my original plan was to cover every Niagara Falls attraction that I haven't done yet, at least the major ones. How foolish that was, because not only am I now leaving a very busy Clifton Hill on a early Saturday evening, yeah, it's next to impossible. You'd need a week to get everything done in Niagara Falls, and I'm still finding other things that I haven't done that I'm looking forward to doing other vlogs for. So I hope you enjoyed this very piecemeal and unusual vlog of the Clifton Hill Spring 2023 season. Lots of content coming from the channel in relation to Niagara Falls in the ensuing months, as we obviously revisit the area in the summer to cover some of the stuff that we didn't cover on this particular trip, including Niagara on the Lake and other regions as well. Whew, out of breath. Like I said, thanks for watching, guys. It's been quite a 2 days, and I'm coming back for more.